Boys and girls, we're on a roll with STP lately, baby. Woo-hoo. We jump back on the saddle, and we are here on a fine. Wait, one, two, three, four, five. Carry to seven. Divide by 30. I think we're on a Thursday. We are on a Thursday, right? A fine Thursday evening, right, my friend? Yes, we are on a fine Thursday evening. And what we like to do after work, get away from the BS, the bullshit, if you will. We get the talent over here through Skype, via Skype, and we have some fun. And look who we have. It's Donkey K stirring the pot with our very special guest. Yeah! I've been waiting to do that all day, my friends. One, Stan Michael. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Yeah, 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 yeah. What's going on, Don King Kid? It is my pleasure, my honor, my duty to pull
Uh,
up on you this evening, this fine, beautiful
uh,
evening, like you said, man. Thank you for having me. True King
uh,
R&B building.
the love has already started, my friends. Look at this. You never know what you're going to get from the talent when you're at the shows and then you invite them on. You just never know. But we started off very nice and smooth with a little bit of beautiful pipes and some love from one Stan Michaels. Uh, I've been waiting all day just to do that. Yeah, for you, my friend, because I absolutely, boys or girls, before we really get into this, we're going to give you the deets later on, as I do at the end of the show, how to find one Stan Michaels and all of that and his media and such and such. But let me tell you, once we give you these deets, and after it may be 20 minutes, you may hang up. It may be an hour. It may be an hour and a half. It may be 3 hours. You just never know where SCP goes. Look up Stan Michael. Look up his stuff. I absolutely love, and I know I boo the piss out of you, but I love the vocals that you give us from your beautiful pipes, my friend. That is something that has incorporated, and I hate to say this, it hurts me a little love in my heart every time, no matter if you're singing to the fans using some of your own words, or if you're singing waterfalls after Dan the Man and the Little Waterworks happened, which was absolutely
Ah,
fantastic, and the fans fucking loved it. Let me tell you.
ah,
So I've been yammering for almost 3 minutes now, and I know I welcomed you to the show, but I
ah.
really wanted to let you know that just that one thing, and it's for us, the fans. It only takes a little bit of something that catches our eye visually, that catches our ear, and we get drawn in. We are so easy. Some of the bad guys, they say we're sheep, if you will. But I tell you, we are easy. And once we latch on, we latch on. And boys and girls, entertainment looks good. His physique, amazing. He comes out. He's he's unique in his own right. Um, all of these things that we talk on STP about, what it takes to be a wrestler, I see that in one Stan Michael, and I thought it was a really really good time right now because he's been kind of surfacing in our area. First off, out of nowhere, but returning on a regular basis. And I know I'm yammering, my friend. Please talk to us about coming to CT and kind of hanging out and doing a little circuit run over here in CT.
Well, Don. Well, first of all, again, I'd like to thank you one more time. And this is really the first time that me and you have really, talked at any kind of length.
Yes. In any conversation, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I always felt like, the love was there regardless. And I
Mhm.
appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But now to get into the grit of it. I first came up to Connecticut by way of TOS.
Mhm.
Um, Brother Greatness. See, I was training down in Brooklyn, right? You see how the story starts already? Do you see how the story starts?
uh, Sorry, I didn't mean to. I get tickled when I hear Brother
It's,
Greatness. I get
it, it,
visuals.
it all comes together. It all comes together because before I made my way over to TOS up in Connecticut, I'm training down in T2T in Brooklyn. And Brother
Okay.
Greatness is the co-trainer down there.
Oh.
And that's where me and him developed our relationship.
Okay.
And it was only a few months into my training where he starts telling me like, "Yo, you need to go see my man Slick. You need to go up there and see
Nice.
what's going on." So, you know, eventually made my way up there, and this is the first time I'm able to say this publicly. I've said it privately, but I can say it publicly now. Like, kind of TOS kind of turned into I consider it like one of my second homes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nice.
like I came out of school in Brooklyn and new to this wrestling thing. Like, I've been a fan all my life, but never thought that I'd get into it. Never thought I could get into it. More on that later. But um, made my way, and now I'm in this space where, all right, cool. My man is telling me to go see his man, so I go
Mm-hmm.
up top to Connecticut, and immediately just felt like the love there, and it's really based on respect up there too. That's one thing I could say. Like, and not to say nowhere else is, but like when you go to TOS and you step through those doors, you know that you better turn it on. You better bring it. You ain't no half stepping, and it's made pretty clear from the training session.
Mm-hmm.
So from there on, I built a relationship with the people that was there, and just like you said, like I just started coming around. I wasn't even booked. Like, keep the whole stat. My first official booking at TOS was Lone Survivor.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I just been around just off the love of it, because I've been, just,
Okay.
what it is. And me and everybody that know, you see my girl. Shout out to Hearts. We make it known that, that's what it is. So through that way, um that's how I just got going up there, and then it started getting up. I got put on at Proving Ground up
Mm-hmm.
there, and then that even lent itself to Tough and Talented as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole Northeast, I started getting a lot more traction up there. So, when you see me at TOS and you see me at these places now up in the Connecticut area, just know that's something that's been a working process for a year coming. So I'm just happy
Okay.
to be here at this point, putting it to fruition at this point now.
Well, we've learned so much in the first few minutes of our conversation, just right off the ripper. TOS is basically my home base. It's been for, as the kids say, a hot minute, for sure. I want to say I've been going to Tesla Strength since training day 12. And in between, they've added what they call their road shows, but I like to call them the pay-per-view shows over at Tesla Strength. The big what to dos and whatnot, and the big fight feels, and things could or could not happen. Not that they can or cannot happen at training day, but the bigger shows is where that's where the eyes are more focused, if you will.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but I'll tell you, for you as a talent, and I know you're very young in your career, you're very new on the scene. We're going to get into that a little bit. You've already kind of tipped on that. Um, to see you come out and start, that's the thing about coming out to new, I guess if you call them territory still. Coming out to a new territory, I've seen a lot of guys come and girls. I've seen a lot of guys and girls come and a lot of guys and girls go. But the ones that kind of make that return, that's where you start getting invested in the presentation, the character, the gimmick, if you will. And when you come through that curtain and I always talk about relationship, that little dance between us and the wrestlers. When you come through that curtain, there's a dance automatically because you're obviously obviously an entertainer of some kind, which we're definitely going to dive into. So you already have a feel because I always correlate music and wrestling, and I know there's many many correlations between music and wrestling, especially the entertainment value. I mean, come on now. But having that in your pocket already, it seems, in your previous life and incorporating that into wrestling, you caught my eye. because I'm a musician, my man. And whenever I heard Stan Michael
I knew it.
with his
I knew it.
pipes,
I knew it. I knew it. You give me you this kindred spirit. That's why I like you, Don. You gave me that vibe. You gave me that vibe. Heard you.
uh, whenever you gave the yeah, and as a musician, it was at PAPW down in East Haven
Uh-huh.
and Paradise Alley Pro. And whenever I heard you do that for the very first time, the musician in me made me stand up and do a call and response, and I went, no. And I've been doing it ever since, no matter where you go, no matter where I see you. And I absolutely love that shit. And you either your facial expression all depends on what kind of mood Mr. Michael in, because if he's pissed off, boys and girls, do not get in his way. You know, we have some fun right now. We have some love shown. Do not get in the man's way when he's pissed off. So all depending on the mood, Mr. Michael will give me a little something something on the side when I give him that call and response, or he just digs a little harder into me and then, hey, I'll back off. You know, I'm not an athlete, if you will, my man. But
Listen,
from that very first time, I felt that I had some kind of click. You said a kindred spirit, and I almost feel there's something there with Mr. Michael, because then I seen you coming through the TOS doors and I just shit myself and I go, are you kidding me right now?
Hmm.
So we have a lot of fun as fans and as wrestlers back and forth, and we take these memories along with us when we leave these events. Let's kind of just stick right there with that topic a little bit. You're new. I'm new to you. You're new to us. That's why we're here to learn information and whatnot about the talent that we see live in on the grand stage, if you will, in between the ropes. Memories that we take, it's usually about the matches and what so and so did or what X person did. I'll use Slick Wagner Brown very recently taking the Test of Strength Championship. We as fans absolutely love that. Jump to our feet. Was celebrating Frosty, Ryan Frost, Jimmy Mees, and Slick Wagner Brown as a new champion. Finally took Marcos down. It was 500 and some odd days, my friend, for
Mhm.
his reign of terror in TOS.
That's
And whenever I say TOS, boys and girls, it's Test of Strength down in East Hartford, Connecticut. So my point being is these memories, and then Slick Wagner turns on old Frosty, and Jimmy Meese doesn't really mind that. Hands Slick Wagner Brown the kendo stick that's usually with Jimmy Meese and Ryan Frost, and starts whipping the shit out of him with the stick. So now we went from all the way up to the highest of highs. We have been waiting for something like this. You know, besides Frosty winning the belt, that was a great feeling for us. That was the highest of highs right there. And then all of a sudden, boom.
I was gonna say that was a great feeling for us too, to see, Frosty, get, that was a nice little touch that Slick put on that. I like, that was a nice little. We like seeing that too. I agree. We like seeing that too.
No, 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 not so nice. Not so nice. No, no, no. We do not agree on
Shout out to Frosty. Yeah,
that.
boy.
But I bring that up because it's so recent in both of our memories. Now, I take that home with me as a fan and talk about it with other fans post, or even like after the events, we're hanging out and we're shuffling out and we're still talking and we're chit chatting, and holy shit, what an emotional roller coaster. The talent also has described that they take memories, but a little bit different because it's a different viewpoint, a different vantage point. Do you feel, especially as a newer talent on the scene right now, that you're starting to gather some of these memories with you from event to event?
Oh yeah, like that's why I say what I say. Like, from the moment I remember my first day walking into TOS just to train, like those memories started then. For me, like everything that y'all see, like every time you see me at one of these events, it's a big deal to me, because you gotta understand, like you said, I'm still new, so everything is impressionable, and to a degree. You know, like because like you also said, I've seen a lot. But as far as this wrestling scene is concerned, like yeah, I remember like probably the thing that got probably the thing that stands out in my mind the most is selfishly when I came and I sang out Brother Greatness, Dan the Man.
that was that was that was pretty
And,
good.
and we gotta tell the story right because it was true blazing hip hop and R&B, so much so that the smoke detectors went on. We set the building on fire. We set the building off. Loki, I went to the back. I went to the back because I was like, yo, I ain't trying to do all that. I came out, I did my job. I'm going to the back. Man, Loki came back so quick. Loki was there. He said, hey, get your ass back out there. You better get your ass back out there. So you know, so what? If Loki tell you get your ass back out there, what you gonna do, Tom?
You get your ass back out there.
You know what I'm saying? But that's cool. But you're right though. You're right though. You the more you the more you're involved in things, the more that you allow yourself to be exposed to, I want to say the magic, but yeah, the magic.
Mm.
Magic, be exposed to the magic of it. You know what I'm saying? Because what we doing, we making magic in there.
Mm.
The marriage between the performer, the wrestler, the athlete, and the fan, the crowd, the energy. You're right. That's what we feed off of. That's what y'all feed off of. That's what makes us this. You know what I'm saying? We all got that thing we could look back on and say, oh, and that's what this all about. And that's why I'm here. That was my whole purpose. I don't give a damn, to be honest with you. I don't give a damn so much about being the best wrestler. Because you know what? At the same time, you could be the best wrestler. What they gonna say about you though? What they gonna say about you? We already seen people come and people go, like you said.
Mm.
That's what it is at the end of the day. That's why we all here putting our blood, sweat, and tears on the line. And people like you and people like us and the crowd and everybody can see what's going on. And then we can enjoy it and feel the love. And that's what the House of Soul is here to represent.
Mm. I try to give each episode their own unique title, their own flavor. And it's usually something either the talent has said or I have said. And right now, I think my favorite choice since the past 18 minutes right now is when low key tells you to get your ass out there, you get your ass out there. I think that
Yeah,
might be the title of this episode so far. Could you agree on that?
yeah, that's the hook. That's the hook.
um, and that is actually not too far in the past, being at Test of Strength Fight for Your Dreams 5, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Believe so, yeah.
So, Mr. Michaels, I just had the GM Alex Rojas on last night. We did a in person, like I used to when I first started stirring the pot. It wasn't this. This started because of the pandemic. I used to go to different locations and do them face to face. And
Dope.
last night we went OG, old school, with the GMX over at TOS and
Love it.
undisclosed location on a Howell Enterprises property. I can't say, or I will end up somewhere lost. You will never see me again if I say. So, um, we were describing a lot of pretty much everything of TOS. There was some past from Lone Survivor 2, because that's the last time I spoke 3 years ago to the GM on Stirring the Pot. And there was a lot of catching up to do, if you will. And we got to the present time being Lone Survivor 4. But that Fight for Your Dreams, that's their WrestleMania right there. That's the big hootenanny. That's the big spectacle that Test of Strength really surrounds their whole year, culminates around Fight for Your Dreams. You got to be part of that, like wicked, like almost out of the hole. When was your very first Test of Strength event?
Gotta forgive me if I don't remember the exact name of the event, but it was about a year ago.
Okay.
And it wasn't anything planned. Much like everything else I've been involved with a lot over this thing, wasn't anything planned. Um, Again, showed up out for the love of, oh, they doing a show. Let's see what's going on. They just had a spot open. I had my gear because that's what I was taught.
Always have your gear.
That's rule number 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We'll just go to three and then you can continue. What's rule number one?
protect yourself and your opponent.
What's rule number two?
Respect every move.
And then that brings us to rule number three.
Always bring your gear.
Okay, continue, please. Excellent for sharing. Thank you.
No doubt, no doubt. But yeah, so rule number 3 happened, and I got to get into a triple threat match. I just got thrown in there, and I remember this is messed up because I got hurt in that match. Actually, I got hurt in that match, and it was cool because that was the first time anything like that happened to me in the ring. That was my first experience having something like that happen, and I was proud of myself for being able to finish, and I ain't go out like no hoe. Yeah, cause that's and I ended up peel the curtain back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm a tough guy, and I whoop that ass if you push me. But I'm a human being. So when you go in and you don't know what this wrestling shit entails, you know what
Right.
I'm saying, and you're new to this shit, and you
Mm-hmm.
catch your first, oh shit, what's going on?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's how you respond to that. Is that
Mm-hmm.
lets you know if this is it.
And pushing through the perseverance. We always talk about that on STP. The perseverance, not obviously to become a singles wrestler, but during matches when a lot of shit can happen. There's a lot of question marks out there, and like you say, be safe and protect yourself and your opponent. But there's always question marks out there. You just never know. Anything routine, something stupid could happen. We've seen it on TV many a time on the bigger platforms.
Did all the
Uh,
time.
yeah. So I mean, it's live TV all the time, and you can't get away from it. Unless it's preempted, if you will.
In high definition too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Now, I want to talk about how long as a whole. Obviously, we're gonna. How long have you been training, and when did you hit the scene, and had that blessing or what have you to continue and get out there?
So I started training in August of 2020, right in the middle, smack in the middle of COVID.
Why would you do that?
Cause there's nothing else going on, and I saw it. so all right, so boom, here we at. So we're I'll take you to March of 2020, right? I'm fully oh see, that's why certain things I was about to talk about something, but that I was thinking about if I should talk about it.
Man,
we
I just trashed the set.
yeah. No. That's why it's coming down. It's coming down. All right, boom.
Holy.
So March 2020, I'm very much so in my music bag. Very much so getting my legs under me as far as I'm getting to start to perform on a consistent basis again. Because I had taken some time off, personal, whatever. I'm performing in the city on a consistent basis, and it stopped when all of a sudden COVID. Everything that I had lined up, canceled, done, straight. Everything called cold turkey. I don't even know what's going on in my job, or whatever, right? So as we all. So in that time, I got involved with, I guess you could say, podcast, a Facebook live show, right?
Okay.
Now I was a part of this Facebook group as a fan. I was a part of this Facebook group And in the Facebook group, I would always, you know, how, I don't know if you're in any Facebook groups with wrestling fans or whatever, but we go back and forth, talk wrestling and all that stuff. A lot of, well, you know, do all that stuff, right? And I've been in there for some time, just talking my stuff and da 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 da. And one of the people that ran the group approached me. He came in my DM and asked me like, yo, we do a show, we do a live show, and I like what you got to say about wrestling. How about you come on and be a part of what we doing? And I said, all right, let me see let me see what it's about first, because you know I don't want to just get involved with put my name in my face involved with just anything now. So let me go what's going on. So I tune in, and what they're doing was that particular night that I tuned in was ladies' night, and all I saw was beautiful women talking about wrestling. One in particular, get to that, and I said, I'm in. I saw enough. That's all I needed. I'm in, right? So one of those ladies ended up being Hearts Shantice, my now girlfriend. One lady you see me with everywhere. So we
She's
hit it.
adorable, by the way.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We hit it off on some podcasting, wrestling show, Facebook Live stuff, right? We run in the discords with the people that was running it. Well, she does, and I sided with her because I didn't like what they was trying to do. Um, and I was like, nah, screw that. We gonna run it. We gonna do our own thing.
Okay.
So we started our own show called Talk of Champions.
Oh, I thought it'd be called Yeah.
See now, this is where I put that hat down, Don. I had put that hat down because the COVID stopped, and now I'm in this wrestling thing, and you know, so I had put that. I didn't think whatever. I didn't even think that this was where it was gonna go yet, right? All I'm
Right.
thinking is, I'm picking up something new and to do during this, all right? This pandemic, but cool. Let's do this Talk of Champions thing. We figured out how to get up live and start streaming live on Facebook, and next thing I know, we have a whole brand, Talk of Champions.
Hmm.
We got a show. We pulling in thousands of views every week. Yeah.
Wow, that's
You know,
awesome.
and it's like, oh crap, like this is a thing
Yeah.
now. So all right, cool. And it's just us talking recklessly about wrestling and all that, you know. And what it prompted us to do was we made a Facebook group of our own. So if you're hearing this now, you're free to join that Facebook group, which is still actively active. Um,
I
we
think I'm
stopped.
part of that.
Yeah, yeah, I invited you to it
Yeah.
recently. Yeah, it's still actively active. Now, as far as us doing shows, we don't really, and I can say this publicly now too, because we just really came to the conclusion of it. Because we were doing well. We took some time off. We decided to come back, but the way that I'm feeling now, the more that I get involved in wrestling, the less I really want to be out here talking about wrestling like that. At least in that kind of context. You feel me?
It's a whole different animal, my friend. It's just a whole different vibe.
Yes.
Um, because you were talking respect earlier as one of the rules. Um, there comes, a lot of that within the industry of wrestling. A lot of written rules and a lot of unwritten rules that you end up sometimes, unfortunately, the hard way. But there's a lot of unwritten rules that are out there, that you just start picking up from locker room to locker room, talent to talent, veteran to even someone who's just coming in a little bit under you if you will. You just never know the environment or what will happen. So there is a lot of that word respect that runs through the industry, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And just like anything else in life, you know, you get the dumb shit and, you know, whatever, you know, the politics and the drama, just like any fucking thing else, you know.
Yep.
Um, but the respect, it is a very driven word in the industry.
Absolute.
Um,
Absolute.
so you start training right when the pandemic, when the
Well,
world
this
said,
is
you know
what
what?
hap- Well, this is what happens though. This is what happens. So while we're doing this podcasting thing, somebody else that I know that was also doing his show, he take a picture one day, just random. He took a picture one day in a wrestling ring.
Huh.
And I said, how the fuck he do that? You know? So in my head, and Don, you see, and you've commented on my physique, and I appreciate you. But you
Mhm,
see me in person,
mhm.
so you gotta understand. A big reason why I didn't get into this shit earlier. I'm 32 years old, by the way. Right? Big reason I didn't get into this shit earlier is because I didn't think I thought I was too small for this shit.
Ah,
Thought I was too small for this shit, right? So, you know, I grow up, I see what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden I see this kid in a ring, this man in a ring. And it clicked in me. I said, wait a minute, you could do this shit now. And you found a way. That's all you needed was the door. So I said, how you do that? He put me in contact with the guy that owns the first school I went to.
okay.
Shout out to Special T Tom, the owner and promoter of T2T Wrestling Academy over in Brooklyn. They're doing great, wonderful things. If you just starting out and you want a comfortable place that's gonna fucking teach you good and treat you right, go holla at my man Tom and uh um God, I don't want to call him. I always call him his shoot name, but I don't want to call him his shoot name. Um, oh, Logan Black, Logan Black, Logan Black. I'm not calling him his shoe name. I'll let my man Special T Time and Logan Black. You want to get it in at T2T for a non-judgmental and straight up environment. If you're in the New York area, you want to get it in starting out. But
Mm,
that's where I got my first start in. Brother Greatness was a trainer over there, and that's where we hit it off.
okay.
And wasn't long after that. That's why I said he sent me up to start sniffing around over at TOS, and
Nice.
been jumping back and forth ever since. I went up there a couple times when I can, but like that's how I got my start going into T2T. Now, getting to my first match now, that is a different kind of animal in itself because my first match didn't come by conventional means.
Oh,
My first match really, um and all right, yeah, this was really my first like match out here like that, like match outside like that. Sheep wrestler Matt Saxton. Not sure if you're familiar, but Google him if you're not, because he's there.
I am following him for some reason, and it was very recently. So something must have caught my eye, and I've been seeing his stuff. Cheap
you might
wrestler.
you might want to more on that later. Yeah.
Okay.
But good friend of mine from before this wrestling thing, right? He was wrestling back years ago, before I was even cognizant of it. I met him after he was done wrestling at that point, and he had
Okay.
gone into music. And me and him got close off of music. We done shows together. We went to open for DMX and Chris
Oh wow.
Webby. And done we did. Yeah, we that's my man's. So
Wow.
when I started training again, it lit the fire. I'll say it. It lit the fire again. And Matt started, getting the itch. So boom, one thing Matt's good at is networking and getting himself in good positions.
Okay.
So he tells me, yo, if I can get this, if I can get us a match at such and such promotion, are you down to wrestle me? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's do it. And I was pretty much, and that was up in that was up in Massachusetts as well. So that was
Okay.
really, that's really when it started, being up in the Northeast. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right.
Like, because during off of that, that's when I got, and that's when there's a lot of the, that's when the proving ground people looked at me. That's when some of the PAPW people, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like the little seeds started getting planted from early. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. When I show up at these places, I'm not always working. Sometimes I'm there just to show love and just be, hey, what up? You just see me, and
Yeah.
you just think I'm there. Sometimes I'm just there. You know?
But that's always a good thing, though, to show face, even when you're not working per se, quote unquote, working an event. And if it's a day off and you just want to see some of your friends that you've started making relationships with, and you're like, oh shit, I want to check that match out as a fan, and you just show up, and it's good to show face like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I grew up in church, right? Like I pull back a person real bad, right? And let me just tell you, you're not getting a gimmick. Let me just say this. This ain't, and I'm gonna have a shirt and I have a hashtag. This ain't no gimmick.
okay.
It's a turned up version, probably, if you want to say that, especially because I'm simping or whatever. But I'm gonna just tell you, I'm not somebody that puts on an act when I step through the curtain. I'm somebody that has dug into who I am in my soul, and I know who I am. And wrestling gives me that lane to magnify that. And I thank God that I have the ability and the space and opportunity to be able to do so.
The natural, the natural characters, uh, more of yourself turned up for wrestling, are the ones that really seem to have a great success rate. And and I don't know any kind of numbers or anything like that, but it's something, besides some of the specialties like Undertaker. That's obviously a made up character, but you never, me and Mark Calloway, me and Mark Callis back in
You
the
know
day.
what
He's
you know what that is though? You know what the thing about him is? He, you're right, but it still speaks to him because he was not, it wasn't so much he was trying to make the character, he put himself
Mhm.
in the character. People say this about Denzel. Denzel's the same guy in every role. I think that is a testament to being able to put your fingerprint on something and make it and put life to it. Because
Mm.
no one else besides Mark Calloway could have did that. In
Yeah.
my
Yeah. From what he was to what he became is obviously just some amazing history through for us in wrestling. Um, but that's what I mean. Coming right out of the hole as one Stan Michael is in his very early and young career, that just speaks volumes because you're not trying to make something up. Because then sometimes not those first presentations don't always work for a brand new wrestler, but it's not something made up and it's not something forced. It's something that's natural and just turned up for the sport, if you will, the art of wrestling. um
absolutely.
so I think maybe that's kind of why I feel as a fan I really made a quick and solid connection with you because of what you already brought to the table. And I didn't know you were so young in your career. I just thought you were someone that was out of NYC and I just never got my eye on before. So I think that, and I mean, I'm no goddamn authority on uh, wrestling or anything, but for me personally, I think that kind of speaks volumes as seeing a brand new talent and he's already connecting with me as a fan. The presentation, his look, taking off that shirt, and I'm like, holy shit, that dude is jacked. I don't care about how tall, how short, how wide. Or what. If you have a physique like that, just don't come near me. I'll try not to be, too much of a jackass. Of course, I'm gonna boo you when the time comes and when it's fit. But I know I know my boundaries.
Love that. Love that. By the way. But
um,
I want to even say though, I wanted to, because I wanted to make this point before I forget. Like I'm grateful for the opportunity because I grew up in the church. So I grew up in a space where, once a week you go to that place where you see those familiar faces and you feel home. And you see those faces, you know what I'm saying? You feel that energy. You feel that, and that's the kind of energy you feel when you go to these shows. You know what I'm saying? It's like
interesting.
you might be going through whatever you're going through in your real life, but then you go there and you see a familiar face and you reminded of those memories that you brought up before,
Hmm.
and you're there, and it's only and it's y'all are connected through those memories and those times. You know what I'm saying? And so that becomes whatever you was going through for those few hours, put it out there. This is where we at right now. But let me say though,
Please.
that is the essence of the house of soul. Because as long as I'm out there, I want to be able to make you feel like, and I all due respect to the rest of the card, but I want you to make you feel like as long as Stan Michaels out there, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like just like you come to that once a week or that once a month, you come there and you have that kindred. That's what I want you to feel. Whether you cheer me or boo me, I want that familiarity. Know
Hmm.
that that's what you're getting.
That's these relationships we build over the events, over the storytelling. Um, because and I'm going to jump right into this, and I know we have so much more to talk about One Stand Michael, but you
And I
have
got all night.
found yourself, you have found yourself in, I got to choose my words very carefully because Dan the Man is one person I'll never want to cross.
Trying to say, please do.
Um, you find yourself in I guess we'll call it a faction, a camp, if you will. I don't know how the kids want to call it nowadays. In my day, growing up, it was always like a faction, if you will,
A joke gang.
of uh, collectively known as the mission. And I even spoke about all of you collectively last night to the GMX, if you will. And that's collectively Dana Man, Patrick Saint, Evie De La Rosa, Brother Greatness, and we round it off with now Stan Michael.
Yeah. The musician of the mission.
I was about to say that was very uncalled for, but I am clipping that. That is fucking beautiful. That was absolute money. Hashtag money. Ah, I almost got on you for that. You ended it beautifully. What a dismount.
Stamp that. Sincerely, Stan Michael.
I'm definitely clipping that. Where are we? 43 minutes. I got to try to remember that in my one brain cell. Um, you find yourself in this thing we call the mission, and boy, have they been making their mark for a while now within the test of strength doors. And I am telling you, we hate the mission. Not all of us. They do. The mission does have some followers somehow, some way. Uh, but they are collectively, along with yourself, not to be trifled with in any way. So please talk to us about getting drafted into the mission. How the hell did you get into that whole mix up? And secondly, talk to us about being in the mission and what it's all about and what you're doing and Dan the Man and everything the mission. Talk to us, please, sir.
Well, First thing I could say is the mission is dope. Let's get that out the way.
Let's not get, let's all come.
Get that out the way. First off top. But giving honor to Dan, uh, what happened was, all right, cool. I'll tell you straight the fuck up what was going on. This is what you gotta understand about me, Don. I'm all about making good music. I don't care who it is, what's going on. If we can make good music, we can do business, right?
Okay, that sounds
So,
sensible.
so let's get this out. Let's just get that out the way, plain. So what had happened was, brother greatness. I told you this man trained me. This man trained me. He's the one that even got me in this realm of thought, right? So he come to me. He say, Stan, I got this thing I'm in called the mission. I said, Brad, I said, bro, greatness. What's the mission? He said, the mission is dope.
Really?
In his way, in his own way.
Okay.
That's what I.
Okay.
It was a hallelujah somewhere there. Well, yeah, you know how he is.
I do.
It was in about several registers higher in that. Yeah, all that.
Please no.
Can't hit those notes tonight. All right. So he's telling me about this, and I'm like, all right. So what do you need from me? What can Stan Michael bring to the mission?
Okay.
Right? Well, what is
But
it? He said, brother, I just need you to sing me to the ring. I said, that's it? Bro. Yes, man. You asking me to do what? Okay, cool. Back. Boom. So that's really all he told me.
okay.
He didn't tell me about Dan the Man. He didn't tell me about Patrick Saint. He didn't tell me about Evie De La Rosa. All I know is that I'm coming to sing for my brother greatness.
Okay.
So I get there, and he dons me with the brother greatness robe, right? And I told you I grew up in the church, so I'm ready. And then I say, what we singing? What's going on? He say, this is my, and this is why I met Dan. I said, Dan, what's going on? What you need from me, Dan? Dan said, he looks at me. He assesses I'm right for the job, right? He looks at, I can see in his eyes. He see what's going on. He knows what come on, son. You know what you're looking at, so does he. So, he says, all right, I got, can you sing this? I do you one better. Now, mind you, I got this robe on, and I'm thinking I'm still here for brother greatness.
Right.
But when they say I'm here, they say I got 5 on it. So I said, all right, cool. If I'm here for brother greatness ain't got 5 on it. You know what I'm saying? You know what brother greatness got?
What?
Brother greatness got Christ on it.
Okay.
And that's where I came. I came out there and I sang, I got Christ on it.
Mm-hmm.
While the mission came down, had the saints behind me, Danos with the book of thing going on. You know what I'm saying? It was lit. So lit, the smoke detectors went off. The alarms sounded. The building had to be temporarily evacuated because of blazing hip-hop and R&B bringing down the house. You know what I'm saying? Rhythm and beat down in the flesh. Came down there. So I go to the back. I say, okay, my job is done. I told you this already. You said this is why this is the name of the show. I said, I'm done. I did my job. I go to the back. Loki comes to me. Hey, you gotta go back out there. That's heat, brother. That's heat. And that's when I knew the mission was for me.
Wow.
Went out there, told everybody what to do with themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I was there.
Decor-
Or no, I
decorum was brought. Decorum was brought, and the match was had. You know what I'm saying? And the night went on. And ever since then, I've developed an even stronger bond with the rest of the members of the mission because it wasn't just about, wait a minute, he's not just a musician of the mission. This man's bringing the fire. You know what I'm saying? He's coming from the top. So we go over to BCW, put the beat down over there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And ever since then, I got shout out to Dan the Man. Dan the Man's been bringing me along with him, carrying out the mission's will. Shout out to the Patrick Saint, big brother in the mission, big sister Eva de la Rosa. They welcoming me with open arms. And I'm just happy to be here learning under the learning tree. And we making beautiful music, like I told you. That's really what it's all about.
Dan the Man, he's all about making movies. Stan Michael, he's all about making beautiful music.
Marriage,
Now,
look at that. Look at that. It's
now
beautiful.
we have Dan the Man, and you have to call him the leader because that's what he is. Okay.
Come on now. Come on
Now
now.
we have a bookend, but this is my point here. We have a bookend of the leader being Dan the Man, who loves to make movies, and now we have the latest addition, the fifth member of Stan Michael, a bookend, if you will, to round off the mission, which pisses me off greatly because I did not need them any stronger than they were at all. Okay. So I feel you are in a great place in your career, especially again, and I know I repeat young and fresh right now, but it is what it is. And I have to reiterate that because you do have so much charisma that you bring to the table. Presentation, entertainment, in ring. I'll use the word sell. That's the best way. I'm just gonna say I'll use the word sell, and the boys and girls that understand will understand. This is one of the guys. Holy shit sticks. He cracks me up for some of the right reasons and for some of the wrong reasons. But I feel right now there's so many different things that we always speak upon becoming a wrestler, what it takes, those pieces of the puzzle. My man right here, Stan Michael, has a great, amazing foundation to work off of. And under the learning tree, and I have to give the man his due, unfortunately, is Dan the Man. Under the learning tree, under the umbrella, if you will, of Dan the Man and company. Because there's a lot of knowledge. And I know Patrick is new as well. And please take over, my friend.
I just want to say, because I know we're talking about the mission. Shout out to the mission. And because I want to make a point here. At this stage in my career, I'm blessed in the respect that I'm getting a pretty good education from two ends. And I'm gonna tell you something here. Because on one end, I'm with the mission here. And with Dan the Man. And with Dan, there's a lot of experience, there's a lot of knowledge on that end. I also recently started training with Damian Adams.
Oh,
And what I can say is I got into this wrestling thing to really not just be a singing gimmick. I really got into this thing because I respect this craft to the utmost.
mm-hmm.
So what you're looking at is somebody that is going to the ones that know how to get it done. Michael Jackson said, study the greats and become greater. That's what I want to do. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm with Dan. That's why I'm over there with Dan. That's why I'm doing my thing. That's why I'm here because, like I said, it's not just about the singing. We're gonna do the singing. We're gonna have a good time. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
But just know, Stan Michael is the real deal on both ends.
Yeah. Athleticism as well. You seem to really take care of your body, and again, taking the knowledge of wrestling in and really soaking it up because you're doing a fantastic job. From again, I only have one brain cell, but I do love me some wrestling, and I love what you're doing and what you're giving to us and that reciprocation. Um, excuse me. Let's talk about, because you are obviously, there is no doubt, and especially up to this present time, an enormous wrestling fan. And you've talked about the podcast, which really, I can't even imagine the conversations and everything that takes a wrestling podcast to, continue and do some stuff. You have to have a lot of topics. You have to have a lot of opinions, and and not be afraid to say some of them. A lot of the times, I
That
think
was our
my
problem. We had no
yeah,
problem with that.
yeah, I think my shit is still falling apart over here. I'm not sure. Could you hold on just one second? Like, oh God! Oh, oh! I made it worse. Uh, wow, we really trashed. And of course, this is the thing that survived the whole. Of
Yeah,
course.
love that.
Oh my goodness! Wow, what a holy shit! Wow, I'm not drinking either. I swear, I'm not.
Yeah.
um, Jesus, it's still fuck. Ah, you got me sugar.
There you go.
Good.
Last man in the
Um,
rumble.
what's your go-to wrestling? Is it WWE, AEW? Is it assortment of everything? Is it indie wrestling incorporated with it so you can keep your eye on the pulse and see what's going on? When you sit down, and I know as a active wrestler, as an active wrestler, sometimes you just don't want to sit down and watch wrestling. But I
Yeah.
know a lot of the boys and girls still do. Are you
Yeah.
one of those guys? And when you do, what is your go-to?
I watch a lot of old stuff. I'm a WCW slash Attitude Era slash Ruthless Aggression baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm 32, so I came up in '90s. I was raised on '90s wrestling, so
Mhm.
that's what I know. That's my go-to. Boom. I don't know a lot outside of '90s WCW, WWF, early 2000s type thing. As a fan, I kind of tapped out. I've been always actively, and it's WWE. It would be WWE. It would be WWE because you know what I'm saying. That's what I was directly exposed to. But um, as far as like my active like watching like as a like I've always had I've always been watching it like that. But like my fervor for it, my uh memory of like date to date stuff taps out around '06, '07 ish.
Okay.
But um but I love this bloodline shit that they got going on. I love that. I love that shit. Yeah, I love
I,
that shit. Oh,
you,
absolutely.
you, yes, as
A-
I do, and
AEW has some good stuff too.
mhm.
Um yeah, everybody got a little bit of something or whatever. There's something for everybody everywhere. But yeah, I'm a big Roman Reigns, Usos fan. Usos are my favorite tag team of all time. They've been that way since day one. I'm a day one Uso fan.
Oh, all
Ro-
right, all right,
Roman Reigns, I've been day one with as well, and I'm so glad to see where they are right now. It's just
yeah.
beautiful to see. But yeah, that's how I was. I'm mainly old school. That's what Talk of Champions was based on. Talk of Champions was based on old school wrestling. All our topics would be like uh Monday Night Raw of January 1997 type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
All right.
That's what we would. That's the type of time we was on. So that's what I like.
Hmm.
If I turn it on, it's gonna be something from like 96, 97. So, or I might even something from the 90s, something a little bit of 80s, something like that. I'm an old school head.
I'm just a little bit older than yourself.
Uh,
Uh, my first event was 1978
ah,
over over at the high school that I actually ended up going to later on, and we're talking Bob Backlund against Cowboy Bob Orton, the
mm,
Wild Samoans with Lou Albano against Tito Santana and
mm.
Ivan Putski. That was kind of where I was growing up in that era and stuff. So that was when actually
That's where I want.
WW.
That's that. That's where I want. You know what I'm saying?
uh, that is actually how I was introduced to wrestling live was when WWF actually did these live small ass, let me tell you, small ass live events in high school gymnasiums. Just like you see with some of the organizations now on the indies,
Mm,
that's how WWF legitimately was as they were on TV in front of our eyes.
wow.
So they used to do these kind of smaller venues, and that's where I saw them was at Bristol Central High School,
Hmm,
and I was only 8 years old back then. So I mean that kind of talks about our era differences,
mm,
but you can appreciate, and you did already by chiming in. You appreciate even those earlier eras. I've been asked a ton of times, "Who's your favorite wrestler?" And when it comes to music, when it comes to movies or TV shows or just shit in general, I never really grasped onto actual favorites for the most part. I mean, there are some, and like growing up, Led Zeppelin all the way through my ears, man. Led Zeppelin, give me Led Zeppelin all the way through. Bootleg, not my favorite because they just never sound. They weren't always sober, if you will, at the live show, so it wasn't the best sounding stuff. But give me Led Zeppelin day in and day out. That was my jam, if you will. But Don Morocco is my guy.
mm,
That's who, Don Morocco, and pretty much it would go Don Morocco, Bob Backlund, I guess, if I had to do a bad guy, good guy thing, or
mm.
but just in general, a wrestler. Because Morocco, if he was a good guy or bad guy, when he talked, and again, I was young, you could believe what he was saying. He when he went into the ring, he got into some really heavy shit. He would bleed. There was cage matches. There was big storylines. There was big fight feels all the time with Don Morocco, shit like that. So I think that's where I grasped on to Don Morocco.
Mm. Nice, nice. Nah, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. For me, I would say, is The Rock.
Mm.
The Rock was the one for me.
Larger than life.
Yeah, like here, and that was the thing. And here's the thing about that. Like, The Rock was the first black man that I saw at that level,
Okay.
and that for me as a kid registered. I don't care about how they present him, what he identified. I don't care. What I saw,
Hmm.
what I saw, it was like, oh snap, that's somebody that looks like me that is at that level doing it and giving it to them. And I was like, wow, okay. So that and then it wasn't even just that. It was that and then the way he would carry himself. The way this man carried himself was just like a star off the rip. Like he was just so separate and that's why Triple H was just such a great anti-hero with him. I know Steve Austin is like the his eternal rival, but Triple H was really if he was dead, Triple H was really his bucket buddy. And just to see how The Rock carried himself, and like you said, just so larger than life. Man didn't even and even it even carried even how he was wrestling because everything he did in the ring was big. The way he sold, you talk about how I sold. The way this man sold in the ring, everything he did was big. and it was distinctive to me. Everything that he did like stood out to me. The way he walked, the way he talked, the way he took moves, the way he gave moves, the explosiveness. Like that's what I embodied. That was my guy. And then it's just, he's just the most successful guy that has been in our world. So it's like,
Mm.
that was my, and Shawn Michaels too, from an older more mature perspective. Shawn Michaels was another one. Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin, but Shawn Michaels just because he represented what I want to bring as a wrestler and myself is the perfect marriage between the entertainment and
Mm.
the in the ring. This man was great.
And he's not 6'5" and 270 or 260
Right.
like The Rock.
Right. Like I can be Shawn. I can't be the Rock in stature. You know what I'm saying? In my physical stature, but I could be Shawn Mike. I could do that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, for sure. Um, Bigger picture, and I know again we're so young, but I just pose this question as one of my normal questions. Long term, in your mind, envisioning where is Stan Michaels throughout his career in wrestling, gets that shot, gets to sign on a dotted line, gets to provide for himself and his family. Where do you see yourself? Would it be the big juggernaut, as you say? And I know there's many avenues. Would it be the WWE or somewhere else, or it kind of doesn't matter? As long as someone wants to grab Stan Michaels and bring him in and give him some love on the dotted line, that's cool.
Whoever paid me the best and treating me the best. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. At the end of the day, I'm a businessman. Like what I tell you about the same thing. Same thing applies. I make good music. If we making good music, whoever whoever's making the best music, that's where I'm going.
That almost sounds
I
like a fantastic title too.
like and I would and that's the thing. I could like in an idealistic sense, I could see myself in both of the major promotions. I could see myself in the WWE Intercontinental Champion. You know what I'm saying? Walking around doing that, making that a thing on TV. Da 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 da, doing a thing. I can see myself at AEW, TNT, or World, whatever. I can see. I could. Well, no matter where you MLW, it don't matter wherever you put me. I'm gonna be able to carve out something.
Okay.
I'm gonna be able to carve out that space where I sit at House of Soul, where we all come together, and I Stan Michaels on. It's a good time.
Can I use a prime example? Because I know you're familiar with the scene and the industry and such. A prime example of really putting in the time, evolving, putting in the work, doing the drives, and doing what it takes, and all of that stuff, all of the cliche stuff in wrestling, is one Carmelo Hayes right now. The way he has come up in from our uh, scene, in our local scene, because that's where he was. He was at the Tesla Strength Training Days. He was at the NEWs in Bethany. He
That's
was
so
at the
crazy.
XWAs,
That's
and
that's
now,
so crazy. That's so crazy. Can I keep it? It's so crazy you say that because you gotta understand, Don. Like I I did not have any aptitude or real knowledge of the indie scene before I got involved in this shit.
okay,
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know, I don't know none of this stuff, none of this stuff. I wasn't interested. If it wasn't WWE or like old school WCW, like I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those. You know what I'm saying? You feel
yeah,
me? So like you call me a hardcore casual, whatever. But like that's how my attitude was. So as I got involved into the business and I'm starting to and I gained a more and not even more and I gained a respect for what's going on this indie level. I started hearing that a lot. I started hearing that a lot. And it's so funny because if there's one person that's new on the wrestling TV that I see that's not like Roman or whatever that I know him for
hmm
years, I know one new guy is Carmelo Hayes.
hmm
I like that guy. My father called me one day. My father don't watch wrestling, but he turned on the television one day and he said, "Oh shit." So shout out to him. Shout out to him. You know, like you know, that's definitely something I wanna. That's definitely some. That's definitely a record I'd like to cut one day. You know what I'm saying?
That would be some beautiful music, my friend.
Beautiful music.
It would be. Now I bring him up for two reasons.
Hmm.
You talked about The Rock being someone that you personally related to
Hmm.
visually. Okay, that's why I brought up A, Carmelo Hayes for that, and B, because of the stature. He's got these two identities that you have that you're trying to persevere with in the industry. And you could see a guy like Carmelo Hayes who had a previous life under a different name doing different gimmicks, characters, presentations to where he got very comfortable. And I think it was probably what happened to him too. He took something natural out of himself. His gear became something much different than it ever was. His presentation, his attitude, how he spoke, how he did promos, the people that he kept around his circle that we saw as fans and such. A lot of things changed with Carmelo Hayes back then. To see where he is now, that's where his identity started. As soon as he changed his gear and got that gold and the black and the gold and that attitude, everything changed. And look at him now, my friend. And that's why I brought him up for a correlation with Stan Michael.
Yes, sir. No. That without a doubt, he's somebody that I definitely, um, like I said, I love to get in the studio with.
So you seem like that you are having an absolute blast doing wrestling and persevering, honing your craft, and really jumping into the fan wrestler relationship because I always speak about this on STP. Not everybody gets it. It takes them a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Sometimes I've even spoken to talent that have been in the game for 10 years. They have gotten some of it, but there's just some kind of spark missing between wrestler fan. You have that. That's one of those tools in the toolbox that you absolutely need to get a great that great response and that great relationship to be a successful wrestler. You already have that. You must have felt that right out of the gate. You had to have because I kind of seen it all around you organically by never seeing you before and then seeing you for the first few times.
Yeah, man, it's really just a matter of I wasn't confident growing up, Don. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a lot of self esteem. I
You
had
got a
to,
lot of something going on right now, my man.
you know what I'm saying? I had to find that. You know what I'm saying? I had to grow up a little bit. You feel me? A
Yeah.
lot of, you know what I'm saying? I had to live some, I had to live some life and climb some mountains and live through some valleys. You feel me? But eventually, that's really what it is now. That's why I said earlier, like wrestling has allowed me to magnify what I know about myself to be true. I'm grateful and I'm humble. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed in a lot of regards, you know. And that being said, I know who I am and I know what I'm capable of. And that's why when I step through the curtain or when I step through the whatever it is, when I step on the stage, when I step in the ring, whatever it is, step in front of a microphone, it's because I know what's about to happen. I know that I'm going out there and I know that the fans came to see something. And I know that I gotta give it to him. I'm the guy that gotta give it to him.
Mm.
My turn. That's why I'm here. And I know not only that I'm the guy that gotta give it to him, I'm the guy that can give it to him. That's why I love what Shawn Michaels say. What Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels say, I'm gonna give you the best show, da 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 da. Why? Because I can. If I am not gonna do that, then what's the point of me being blessed with the ability to sing?
Mm.
What's the point of me having a six pack when I was 3 years old? What's the point of me having freakish strength for somebody my size?
Pound for pound.
You feel me? Like what is the point of me being able to jump over most folks' heads? You know what I'm saying? There's no point in all of that stuff if I'm not gonna have the belief in my own ability to bring that forth and know what kind of effect that I can have. That's what people gotta understand too, especially like when you're on that side of the fence. And I've been on both sides. I've been on both sides of the fan as a performer, in both realms, in wrestling and in music. And what I can tell you is that folks on the stage side of the fence don't always realize what kind of effect you have on the folks that are watching. You are so caught up in whatever the fuck is going on with you that you don't realize that that spotlight on you is somebody's first time seeing you. It's somebody's last time seeing you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Perspective. Yeah, yeah. No, you are correct, my man.
Somebody might have came. You don't know where somebody came from, and now you're in front. So that's a lot of power that I don't think a lot of performers grasp.
That perspective is the first time that's ever, you know, been not only just on the show, but in general, that specific perspective of always heard that could be their first time. You always want to make an impression. You want to give them the best of yourself. You want to give your best performance, your best of all of you. But I've never heard it could be their last.
Yeah,
That is a big perspective right there. Um, and everything that you've shared on this show, again, you have your own flavor, my friend, and that's why we have the fans and yourself have a connection right now. I truly believe that because of your uniqueness, and it's not just about the singing. It definitely is not about the singing. it,
it's the singing, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit of
it is, but
singing.
it's your words, not even singing, just your words in general. The entertainment value that you speak is some of none other that I've been around, and I love every minute because it's part of wrestling. And you bring a bunch of the package, a bunch of the tools to the table already in your career that I grasp onto. Character, presentation. Look fucking professional, please. Just look professional. Don't come in with a fucking torn up t-shirt and jeans because you didn't have a chance or you didn't want to or you didn't have the money. If you're not ready, don't come through the curtain. Look professional, give us a good presentation, and be good in ring. And I know you're always a student of the game, but when you're young and you're just upcoming, I I know you're nervous, and I know mishaps happen. It never matters to me personally as a fan. To me personally, that never matters. I don't give a fuck about those. I don't care about the oopsies. I love everything about the character, story, presentation. Give me those three things. You've got me as a fan. You've given me those, my friend. Please continue.
We got to remember why. Like, think about it. We got to remember why you and I grew. We two different generations, but we fell in love with it for the same reason. Two completely different generations, but it was the same things that locked us in.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel personally.
Hmm.
That's what I see is what might be lacking sometimes. Because a lot of the people, like I'm 32. A lot of guys I heard wrestling is 22.
Right.
So that's a generational gap in itself. Because the kind of wrestling I grew up on and you grew up on, character based. larger than life. Like you said, just that's
Yeah.
what it was. And now, you have a generation that didn't grow up with that as strong as
Right.
we not as strong as not as strong as how we had it. Because they had a macho man. That's wild. That's another level. It's another level. You
Yeah.
know? So like that's what I like. I bring up the macho man because that's somebody I that's what I say. We don't have a macho man now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
There's somebody that's the guy that even when I didn't know what wrestling was, I knew who he was. You
That's
know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? I knew who that personality was.
Yeah.
I knew what that meant, even
Yeah.
though I had never physically, visually seen a wrestling match. You feel me?
Hmm.
And that's what I think. That's what I try to really incorporate. Yeah, I do it. I use my singing to do that. That's my vehicle. But my purpose and my message is that right there. I want to get over that structure, that story. That's why the bloodline is so over now. People talk
Hmm.
about they talk about how they want to see long-term stories in other places and all that stuff. Well, yeah, listen to what you're saying. You want to hear you hear stories. You want to hear, that's why we're here. If you want, and if it was all about just the physical, you'd be watching either the UFC or figure skating. So like we gotta let's really talk about what we're talking about here.
Right. Myself and yourself seems like, and again, boys and girls, we've never conversated, not even intermission, pre-show, post-show. And I talked to a lot of the boys and the girls, but myself and Stan Michael, we've really never conversated. So for this to go as well as it did, instead of this vision I had because of the mission, I thought it was going to be this crazy ass roller coaster. But we could talk wrestling, it seems, for probably, I don't know, the next 24, 28,
No,
32 hours,
absolutely.
36 hours.
And that's honestly the point I wanted to make on here. Like, and I wanted to put that's I appreciate this opportunity, Dan. Dan, Don.
That's
I
okay.
appreciate this opportunity because specifically, I want to put it. I want to put it out there. I want to let it be known. I'm with the mission. We make good music.
Okay.
Period. I am the musician of the so it don't matter. It don't matter what you see. You can boo me all you want to. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You want to hate me because I make great hits with Dan and Pat and Brother Greatness. You want fine, fine. I'm here. I'm gonna sing back at you. But just know it's all about the music. The mission. I mean.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, man. It's all about the music. Don't make me change the title now.
That be we'll be starting stuff, Don.
um, I don't want to pull everything out of one Stan Michael because we could go probably all night long here with one Stan Michael. We've got a lot of information. We've got some great stories. We've got some great music.
It's
Uh,
always more on this later. It's always more on this later.
so we want to maybe almost kind of bottle this up a little bit, a couple more minutes, and then we can check out the evolution of wrestling, the wrestler, and
Evolution is a mystery.
wow, and we
It's
can
the
pull you
king of
back in.
R&B. Sorry,
Wow, the pipes. Oh no, no, no! I didn't mean to interrupt. We can bring you back and check on you and catch up and see where you're at.
that's,
Hopefully, you're not in the mission. Maybe you might come around and not be in that mission.
that's
Um,
good.
y-
That's-
you
We
know.
we we make
So
we making good music, man. We making good
I
music.
know,
I'm loving what I'm hearing. That's all I'm saying. I'm loving what
I, I know, I know, and I don't mean to harass you on it. And I know you are making beautiful music.
I
I
just
get
got here.
it.
I just got here. Let me rock.
I have three things before I let you go. I want to talk about something that I recently clipped, and it was at Lone Survivor 4, and you were part of Team Mission, and you guys went against Team Frost. I got some love in my heart for me some Frosty. Now,
I do too. Listen, I gotta say, I do too. Like we just look, me
I
and Frost just so happen to be on. I gotta say it. I gotta say it. I gotta say it because I feel good and you got me here. I gotta say it.
okay,
I got love for you, Frost. We just so happen to be on other sides right now. That's all. But it's all love,
okay,
baby. It's
all
all
right.
love. I have
Wow.
no doubts I can make up music with you, Frosty. I have no doubts we can make up music. I can get something out of you.
Oh.
More on that later.
Did you just turn into Stephen A. Smith over there on me?
You listen. Before I started wrestling and I was doing the Temple Champion, I built myself. I said I was going to be the Stephen A. Smith of wrestling. I said
Yeah.
that.
The way you dismounted on the Frosty thing, you sounded like Stephen. I gotta clip that too. You sounded like
Ah!
Stephen A. Smith.
Listen. When I'm telling you, when I was doing the old show and all that stuff, I'd have a time. One time I came up on a suit because I was pissed off at what was going on in
Oh,
wrestling. I got a suit and tie, and I was Stanley A. Smith. Mm-hmm. 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 So I can get in there. That's why my promos is fire because I grew up listening to Reverend preach all this time, and I listened to Stephen A. Smith and Jim Cornette, so I know how to talk.
oh. Stanley A. Smith. Now you're gonna make me change the title to Stanley A. Smith. You're a son of a bitch. Oh. Oh my God, that just tickled me way too much, probably. But God, that was so
you gonna
good.
have a good time with this one, man. I had fun with you tonight, man. I had fun with you
Ah,
for real.
yes, absolutely, so much fun.
I come
Um,
I come back when I make another hit or two. I
yes,
you know what I'm saying? Like I got unfinished. I got Dash. I got listen. Oh God, never mind.
you've got plenty on your table.
More on that later. More on that later.
Hashtag more on that later. Okay, now I got four things before I let you go.
Mhm.
Um,
Why?
uh,
Why?
so at the post match of Team Frost versus Team Mission,
Ah,
I come up on you a little close with the old camera, and I let out a yeah, and you do a call and response, and you do a fuck yeah. Um,
no, Don. No. It was worse than you think.
what do you mean?
It was worse than you think. You said fuck. No, I said fuck you. Why? Why? I was in pain, Don. I was in pain. You gonna put the camera. You know I'm vain. You know I'm photogenic. And at that moment, that's what you decide to do to me. I know I'm in the mission, but goddamn, at that moment, that was a bad moment. If I hurt your feelings, if I hurt, listen. If I hurt your feelings, I'm man enough. I'm man enough to apologize. But I'm tell you this: pick your moments. Why? You said it already. Sometimes I'm not the time. I was hurt, man. I was hurt. You can't be sticking the camera in my face when I'm hurt.
Okay.
I'm
Wow.
hurt, man. That was bad. You saw the move. He hit me with the gimmick driver. You feel me? Like ah, you know?
So read the room next time.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. Listen, I had to even apologize to my girl a little while ago because she caught me at a bad time and I flipped and said some wild shit. You know what I'm saying? So like that's just something. Maybe I gotta work on that, but maybe y'all just gotta watch the fuck out. That's it.
Well, you're lucky I didn't hit you what I usually do. When the boys and girls are down and out and they're all fucked up on the outside of the ring, I usually come up to them and go, Dr. Kate here, send the Ricky Kate files, blah, 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 like I'm doing an interview. But I did not do that to you, so I pulled back a little bit by hitting you with a yeah no.
I appreciate. I'm sensitive, Don. I'm sensitive.
Okay.
Sensitive.
Wow, you
You
really
know,
got
I'm an
fired up
artist.
on
I'm an
it.
artist.
Yeah. Oh, boys and girls, we hit a nerve there. Holy cow.
Yeah, you hit a note. You hit a
Woo.
bag note.
Yeah, oh, oh, I
Hit
hit
a
a
bag note.
bad
It's
man.
a little off
Yes,
key. It's
there's
a little
another
off
new
key, bro.
title.
You're off key.
Oh my God. Shut up. My singer would say, one of us is a little flat. I would go, there's only two of us. He would say, I know. And are you shitting me right now?
Listen, man. Listen. This is
Oh
classic.
my God.
This is a classic like a C note, actually. But oh man. Listen, man. I definitely come back on here and fuck it up with you some other time. What I want to do, is I tell you right now, my goal, I am not leaving. I am not, if it's in my power and if it's my fucking power, I'm gonna say so. I am not leaving 2023 without a damn title.
Oh wow.
I want a
Okay.
title. I want a title. I don't care if it's a tag team. I don't care if it's a singles. I don't care if it's a hardcore title.
All right.
24/7. Stan Michaels getting himself a belt this year. Bet that one.
Looking for a gold record, if you will.
Something like yeah. Platinum.
Oh, looking for a platinum record. Okay.
Platinum. Diamond.
Um,
He's a
I, I,
diamond,
I
baby.
think I think I broke three ribs during that laughter. I may
That,
have broken three ribs. I don't feel right
hey,
right now.
give him one of these.
Okay.
Done.
ah, don't make me do that.
Yeah.
Um, hashtag more on that later. Real quick, hit us. What the hell is all? What is that all about?
Like I just been saying, there's always more on this later with Stan
Okay.
Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
you ask me what's going on now, I'm gonna tell you what's going on now. You ask me what's going on in the future, I don't know, but it's gonna be more. I know I'm always moving, and I know I'm never. I'm that type that I work feverishly to a point, get to a point, get to that point, and say that all right, what's next? You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I keep it moving in that. So it's always more on this later.
All
Exactly.
right. I got you. I got you. Um, there was two things left. I know. I remember one of them. I'm not remembering the other one for some reason. Talk
That's
to
what I feel
us.
like when I do matches.
Huh?
That's what I feel like when I do matches. Never mind. Was I supposed to say that? I don't know.
Pull, pulling back the old curtain, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, talk to us about the music, because if I don't talk to you about your music life, I would kick myself in my ass.
Mm.
And I know you would probably kick me in the ass later on.
Ah,
Talk to us about music, and we don't have to go on too long. I
ah,
know we don't want to
to
keep you
be
too long,
honest with
but
you, I need to kick myself in my own ass because I ain't been as active as I would like to be just because of the fact that I just threw myself into this wrestling shit so much, you know.
okay,
But that being said, I am the true king of R&B rhythm and beatdown in the ring and when I sing. So I gotta live up to that. And I've been in the studio. Well, I got my own studio. I got a studio. I got a walking. I am a walking studio. So I've been definitely working on some new material. Hashtag more on this later is a 3-song project that I have available on all streaming platforms. It entails all three of my theme songs, depending on how I'm feeling that day. If I feel like if they tell me if I'm a baby face, if I'm feeling like being nice to y'all, I'm gonna come out to the House of Soul or maybe Knock You Down because Knock You Down is a fighter song coming from fighting underneath. And
okay,
if I'm just feeling like cocky, like I'm better than y'all, and I'm rocking with, I'm rocking on my R&B, I'm gonna come out to more on this later, which is more of a slower kind of, you know, swag on you type song. House of Soul is more like a upbeat, club type joint.
okay,
So check those out. I got some other joints on there if you want to check out my older joints from when I was a kid and young man trying to figure out what I was doing. But now, like I said, man, Over the last couple years, I grew into my skin, realized who I am, I have my confidence, I know who I am, I know who I'm supposed to be, I know where I'm going, and I'm looking to just do things that reflect that. In the studio currently, like I said, my own thing. Got some shit coming out, got some heat cooking. So we gonna bring this all full circle. And in the meantime, you might see me drop a remix now and then. You see, I don't know if you saw, I did the remix to Soul Survivor for the Lone Survivor pay per view because we did I did a little promo for Frosty and them. It was little art, a little work of art I did. But yeah, I drop some
Okay.
of those every now and then. But like I said, I'm always creating
Mhm.
somehow. So y'all see something from me soon in that regard.
Has this been your first interview as an active wrestler, sitting down and doing kind of one of these one-on-one sit-down interviews?
No, first one. This is gonna be the first one since like I first started. Like
Okay.
when I first started, I was doing a bunch of stuff because people from around where I'm, excuse me, from around where I'm at, New York and my hometown in particular, which I'll even touch on in a second. Um, they was just so interested in the fact that I was pursuing wrestling. Like,
Mm,
oh snap, we know somebody that's because you got to understand that you got to remember we live in a bubble. This wrestling thing is a bubble. So like, if you're
mm,
not inside this bubble, you don't know what's going on. And
right.
sometimes if you inside the bubble, you don't know what's going on outside. You know. So like when people around me close to me saw that I was getting into this thing, so it was just I had a little following going into this. I had a little bit of momentum going into this, just off of the
That's
strength
cool.
that where I come from, just going into wrestling isn't something you hear about every day.
Hmm.
So I had a couple interviews but this is like the first that that I'm actively in my skin with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Hmm.
out here working, I'm booked, I'm busy type
Right.
shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Mhm. Well, we always appreciate when the talent takes time out of their life to come on here and as much as you were absolutely you were so candor, very open, and stories and laughter, a little bit of yelling. Um,
Ah,
but you got to take it. You got to take what you got to take. It is what it is.
I
Um,
studied. That's the thing, man. I studied. I'm sorry, we going all night and shit. I studied interviews, bro. Studied interviews from when I was in my music days and shit.
mhm,
Studied the Breakfast Club, Hot 97 interviews. Like I studied how artists carried themselves, and I watched how certain people, how what I liked and didn't like, how certain people carry themselves doing the media and doing, and I realized something. Interviews like this is the key, really the key to unlocking new fans. Because let's be honest, not everybody's gonna come out to the show,
right.
but they might see this on YouTube and
Hey,
say, "Oh,
and if only one set of eyes, that's all I've ever asked for out of stirring the pot. If one person checks out Stan Michael, at least that's another person that may buy your merch, may network with you, follow you to different shows, and a relationship gets built sometimes with the fans that you see recurring. So you never know what could come out of it.
absolutely." Like there's been music artists that I never listened to a note of their music until I heard their story, and I heard what they about, and I heard their perspective. I hear them talk as people. So I'm like, all right, let me see what you're about. So I keep that in mind every
Mm.
time I get a show like this. I don't care if motherfucking you get 3 million views or 3 views. I don't care. It's the same thing. I don't care if I'm performing it from a 5,000 people, 50,000 or five. I'm gonna give you the same energy. Period. Cause like that's the essence of it.
That was kind of my moniker when I was in the band. We were doing 80s hair stuff, White Snake, Rat, Poison, Metallica. We slipped into some of the Metallica, and I know it wasn't like 80s hair stuff, but who the hell doesn't like Enter Sandman nowadays? Everybody loves to jam to that shit.
Right.
But we surrounded the nucleus was 80s hair stuff, and not taking anything away from my guys, but I was the idiot that was continually headbanging. I was the idiot after set one that was absolutely soaking wet, like he just crawled out of the shower.
Mm.
And then set two, and then set three. I was that guy, and it kind of drew a little bit of something for us. We started getting some recurring fans that would go from maybe a club to this club, or hey, I heard you. It's only maybe about 40 minutes away. That's not too bad of a drive. We're thinking about coming out. You guys are a lot of fun. You sound good. You put on a decent show. We had the full light show. We had our own sound system. We tried to incorporate some of our friends that followed us that were musicians. We would let them come up and sing, play guitar, play bass, play drums, whatever. And we had some fun like that. So it was kind of hard walking away, and really not walking away. I mean, you can make the choice to stick with it or not stick with it. I mean, that's very evident. But I kind of put it to the side, and then up came indie wrestling, and I've been addicted ever since, and I haven't stopped. And here we are, Mr. Stan Michael, from, let's see, probably early 2016 ish. I started into the indie scene, and I've been around since. And the relationships, the networking, the all of that, the friendships, the brotherhood. Um, it's just it's priceless. I'll never change any of it for anything.
Dog, I could tell you, like I'm new to the scene, and I immediately. I don't know how much this. Look, I don't know how many people tell you this. I don't know how far it go. I'm gonna just tell you. I'm gonna give you. Like I immediately, as a newcomer, saw your value to the community. Like it's so crazy because and that's why I'm so appreciative that I'm here. I'm finally getting this opportunity to talk to you like that. Cause me and my girl, we said it. Like, yo, this guy is he's the shit. like, this guy is at pretty much like we don't know where it is, but Don Kincaid might just show the fuck up. Not only gonna show up, not only gonna show up, he's involved. Like he has a relationship with these guys. He's taking foot. People don't understand how value. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But the value of just the footage that you even get, like that is the even just just having you and not even just the footage, just your presence, what you provide to the performer. Like you call and response me. I get a yeah. And I know I'm gonna get a no from you. What that does to a performer, your value, and that's before and I'm saying this before I even got my opportunity to build that with you. I saw that what you had with the rest of there's your value to the community. I don't know if you go through your things, whatever, but just every time, just remember that you had somebody come in that didn't know nothing from nothing and automatically saw what you mean and what you value. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you sticking that camera, even though I sang that. What I appreciate you doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you and that you like. We make the world, we make each other's world go round, and I appreciate you for that. And I hope you know that.
uh, Mr. Michael, that's beautiful music right into my heart.
What I make, bro. I keep telling you.
No, like seriously, I absolutely love you for your beautiful words. Some of the boys and girls definitely have, you've echoed what they have said. And I literally, legitimately, always just want to fucking cry because it was never, it was never about me trying to be like some fan that was had a spotlight. It was always about trying to get a little tiny spotlight if I ever could with my footage, my clips, any selfies, anything that I was ever doing. Get any. new eyes on the talent or on the promotions that I would be able to frequent and see my now friends working, thriving, having fun. Um, that's all I cared about. And that's why I always say stirring the pot, it's not my show. It's our show. It's the fan show. Because the conversations that we had, fuck, we're running an hour 45 minutes right now, man.
Ah!
Okay?
Yo, that's what Talking Champions do when we come on. Yo, we run all
That-
night.
but that's what happens when it can flow like that and you're very comfortable with one another. And that's why I really wanted to do it, was to get the backstories of the wrestlers, but to have these conversations of what do you like in wrestling? Do you watch the current product? Stuff like that. When you're winding down and you want to watch wrestling, what do you like? There are some specific questions that I do say on Stirring the Pot, but I try not to be generalized stuff in a generalized way. That's why we do it on the fly. Don't write anything down. Don't research a fucking thing. And I think that's what kind of we have fun on stirring a pot with it like that. And I'm not saying that my formula is better or right. I'm just saying that's the way I do it. And anytime I've described it to the talents that are coming on, they're like, fuck yeah, I'm down.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, no, no. Like if you create a safe space, you get safe answers.
And that's another thing. I want to always be Switzerland. I don't want to be pulled into the left or the right or be pulled into any stuff that happens within the community, right?
Mhm, mhm,
From
mhm.
promotion to promotion to promotion. So
Right,
I've
right,
always tried
right.
to be just keep me in the center, please. Let me be
Yeah, no,
Switzerland.
no, 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 no. That's not what you're for. No, no, no. You're here to do what you said. You know what I'm saying? You're here to do what you said. Like, and we need more of you. And I wish there was, and that's why I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not, and I say it anybody. Anybody trying to use this motherfucker as a pawn, no, grow the fuck up. All right, grow the fuck up. Fight your own battle. All right, I don't know what's going on. I don't know shit. Don't get me involved in your shit either. But
No,
that's not what he here for. Don Kincaid is to make us great. All right, leave him alone. Yeah,
nothing in specific, just overtime things.
no, no, no. It just need to be said because they gonna hear it. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate that extra love right there. Wow. Mr. Michael, um, the love it started, and just like last night with the GM, we started off with some love. We ended with some love. This is a great 2-day run for STP. I gotta say.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
um, Before we do let you go, though, and I know there's probably many more a topic we could chat
Oh,
about. About.
we're gonna more on this later
Yeah.
because like I'm gonna live some more wrestling life and then gonna come back. You know what I'm saying?
Before we do let you go, though, because you are new on the scene and you have a young, promising career right here, I would definitely like to get the details. I want to make sure that we get them out there before we do go. The details of the old digital stuff, the interwebs, the Twitter, the face page, the Pornhub, whatever you've got. I would really enjoy for you to share with us.
All right. You can follow me, Stan Michael RNB, R as in R, N as in Nancy, B, Stan Michael RNB, Twitter, Instagram. Uh yeah, those are the big ones. Oh yeah, TikTok too. I'm on TikTok. So Stan Michael RNB.
Okay.
Twitter, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Follow Talk of Champions. Go to Facebook and follow Talk of Champions wrestling group. Sit there and talk shit about wrestling and all that. Just be respectful. We don't, we kick motherfuckers out gladly, actively. Don't fuck around. But come here, talk, come in, have fun, talk your shit. I do that. That's what it's for. Promote whatever. Da da da. So Doc and
Okay.
K, feel free to promote your fucking stirring the pot. I want to see you
Oh,
promote.
really?
Yes, yes, please.
Oh,
Yes, I want to see that. Yes.
Okay, I appreciate that. I
No
really
doubt.
do.
No doubt. No
Because
doubt.
that's one thing I don't do. I don't tag, 99 people and try to like spread it that way. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to do it on my own. I'm just trying to do it on the merit of the people I speak to, the people I've made relationships with. I don't try to tag everybody that doesn't need to be belong tagging, and I don't put my shit on all sorts of different pages that I don't need to. So I've always stuck it to my page. So I really do appreciate that invite to
Nah,
share
nah.
some medias and stuff.
Yeah, no, no. Come through. Come through. Post that shit in the group. Talk a
All
champion.
right. All right. I appreciate that. So no,
Yeah.
no Pornhub, no Pornhub handle.
Um. No, I got a daughter. I can't do that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Ah!
I, I just want to make sure we get them all out there.
Again, yeah. I can't do porn, and I can't wrestle women because I have a 9-year-old daughter, and that shit is hard to explain. So no.
You are not the only one that's ever said that um, on this show, but in general, speaking from the male point of view, I have a daughter, and I'm just not gonna do that.
No shade, no shade. I love the ladies. I love the ladies. I help you work
Yep.
out all day. You know what I'm saying? Like shout
Hmm.
out to, like I said, shout out to Damian Adams. You know what I'm saying? Like shout out to all the girls that's there and everybody that's there and all that. I'm learning a lot over there. You know what I'm saying? But just from a and there's even women I wish I could quote unquote have matches with, but just from a personal perspective, I have a 9-year old daughter, and she's watching me everything that I do. I even had to tailor my musical content because
Mm.
I was reckless in that regard. But you know what I'm saying? I got if that's what you do, that's what you do. That's what's up. More power to you. Stan Michael will not be putting his hands on women. And if you in that, that's just I don't believe in that in shoot or in kayfabe
Okay.
personally. And then that's no shade on anybody who does, and that doesn't
Right.
mean to be sexist to women that he doesn't want to work with us because no, it's not that. It's just I have different priorities. That's all.
Hmm. Hey, nothing wrong with that, my friend. Nothing wrong with that at all. And I appreciate being honest because instead of, uh, like you said, I don't pull no punches. I'm Stan Michael. You want to hear something? I got you.
That's it, man. That's it.
uh, we've made absolutely beautiful music for just under 2 hours, my
Made an
friend.
album. We made an album.
We, we
Classic.
made we have made a full blown
Promote this as an album.
22 track. It's a 22 track album.
I'm promoting this as an album, like actively. I don't. I like actively. I'm gonna. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. As soon as you're done
All
doing
right.
what you do, watch what I do. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I'm very curious now
Yeah.
where this goes.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
I've trashed the set. There's not a damn thing left back here. I don't know what the.
Yeah. I don't got no more drink either. I think I timed that perfectly. I think I timed it perfectly.
Fine conversation with a new talent on the scene, giving us great memories to bring home on the car ride home, to talk about, to just mow over and just be like, you know what, that just that right there, those are the things when we talk about those memories. That's what brings joy to my heart. That's why we go to wrestling. That's why we get away from the bullshit, as Mr. Michaels was describing, and we go to wrestling, and put everything aside and have some fun. That's why we go there. Have some fun. Get involved. Not too involved. Some of you guys and girls out there get a little too involved when it comes to fans. uh, Mr. Michaels, thank you so much for coming here, hanging out with us, the fans, on Stirring the Pot. You were an absolute gem, and I cannot thank you enough for spending some time with us.
No doubt, Don. I gotta come back on here and cut another one with you, man. Can't wait to do it.
Yes, yes. With that, boys and girls, this is Stirring the Pot with my.
I always have to end these things, and I have to remind people that in 2020, the Clippers blew a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets.
He did.
A series in which Paul George and Kawhi Leonard combined for a grand total of 0 points in the fourth quarter of a game 7, while Jamal Murray dropped 40. And that led to Doc Rivers ultimately. I found this on the web for in which Paul George and Kawhi Leonard combined for a grand total of 0 points.
What the-
While Jamal Murray dropped 40. Check it out.